Okay, here we go again. Let's see, we have everything set up. Music should be playing in a few seconds. Go live notification is up. So yeah, welcome back everyone. For the people who are watching the VOD, it's been a few days. I had a few things that required more priority than a live stream. So today we're gonna be back so we have at least one stream a week. And today we will be focusing on the axe. So we're gonna leave the body and all of those elements alone for today. So we will be focusing on, yeah, as I said, the axe. Um, let's see. I did make a little cutout of it. So this is what we're going to be using inside ZBrush itself, thanks to the spotlight function, which allows you to put uh, images directly inside ZBrush, so that it is quite easy to, like, just like how in Maya or in Blender you can put an image in the background and then model directly on top of it. This is ZBrush equivalent. So you get this, you get the image, you get a little ring slider. You can scale it, rotate it, and we can put it in the center of the canvas. Hey Blue, welcome on in. We can put it in the center of the canvas, put it a bit larger. This thing does have perspective drawn in it, so we can't use it as a orthographic view where all of the measurements would line up. So this is going to be somewhat tricky. Okay, so as you can see, when it's on the spotlight, it does not move. It is, hey Matt, welcome on in. The reference image is locked to the viewport, so we can rotate everywhere. We can see our 3D model rotating. Though the image is projected on screen space, so that doesn't move unless we go back into, like we hit Z to go into image manipulation and then move it around. So for the purpose of today, we will move the character down and then we will try to model the axe on world space above it. So again, we ask ourselves a question: what is the most basic primitive that this model is? And I'm looking at the neck, and that is just a rectangle. So let's move it like this, scale it down, see if we can get it to fit like this. This might be a bit difficult to see on stream, mainly because we have our reference image directly above it. Good thing we can rotate it a bit more, and then let's see if I can lower the opacity. So if I wiggle this around, I think everyone can see the idea of I'm going to try and match the neck of the guitar first. Rotate it slightly more. If this was in Maya and I'd had my full modeling kit, this would probably be easier. So for the purpose of trying to get better at ZBrush and trying to do as much of it as possible in here, we are going to attempt to do it all in ZBrush. Right, because we are slightly off center. Let me model it like this. Okay, so let's say that is a good length for the neck. What else do we have? We have this large slab underneath. Again, I think we can duplicate this part, move it down, and start scaling it so it, not rotate. Start scaling it so that it looks that shape. So I did, in the original concept, you can see that the character is standing in front of it. So the way that I got this image was by going to Clip Studio Paint and just hand painting out the character and filling out the blanks with logical steps. So we know that the neck of the guitar has to flow down straight so that the threads are gonna be there. From there on, we can deduce, okay, this is where the thread should end. So it may not be entirely what the artist had intended, but I think as an approximation, this is close enough. Okay, so this is where the issues with perspective begin, because this is tapering quite a lot. So let me turn off perspective, which I probably should have done from the get-go because we're modeling over it. And let's just move some points into place. We get curvature down here, this needs to go in. And let's move this out. So as you can see, let's actually do this for both, where we want it to be as slender as it would an actual axe. So yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. It's been a week. Quite a lot of things can happen in a week. I'm gonna make a decision and just remove all of this. So we only have the front facing polygons, and then later on we'll throw an extrusion on it and give it some depth, so that for now we can focus purely. Currently crying away painting. Ah, that is a mood. So we will again, because this has perspective painted in it, there will be issues, but we can approximate it as best as we can. Actually, I might just call this in and then extrude this. Let's see, where do we have it? Extrude, edge. We'll move this like this. Okay. Actually, can I give it some fake thickness? So if we go to dynamic subdivision, but don't smooth it, but we do say it to give it a thickness. Yeah, so we can fake thickness just to see what it looks like. So let's give it 0.05. Let's do the same for the neck. We will lead all the polygons except the front facing one, and with some fake thickness. We can make it look like it already has some thickness. Okay. So for blocking out purposes, this is fine. Okay, let's go for the head. So I'm wondering if we should keep it into a single piece We probably should, as from a construction point of view, this is a singular piece and we need the tangency to add up. So I'm gonna zoom in. We can get rid of these for the moment, we don't need them. Turn on local symmetry. Yes. And we can extrude this. It looks to be going. Yes. Kind of looking at topology here, because this, having a start like this on the edge will give a pinch. It would be nicer if we had a polygon that would go around this, so it will get smoothed out. We can worry about that later. For now, let's try and get the shapes. Do have to make sure that they don't cause it to have a crooked neck, because that would give us issues later on when we pull down the strength, because those things are under tension and they should be straight. And I am effectively polymodeling inside ZBrush, which is probably not the best of choices, but we're committing to it. Again, usually because this is a hard surface model, you would probably like to do this inside Blender or Maya because you have a lot more fine control over things like extrusions and thicknesses. But we're learning in ZBrush. Let's see if this is doable. I mean, it is, but see how doable it is. Okay. Now let's add the sharp bit on top. Actually, camera, I think we can store a camera here. Yeah, store camera. Virtual camera perspective mode. Oh, okay. Store camera. Okay. So having done that, if we were to move our camera, we'd like to go back, we can just say, hey, go back to XRF camera, and it'll automatically put it back. It does look like it got rid of the little guy at the bottom left, so that's unfortunate. Okay. Also, naming our models, because again, this will save us time in the end. So this is neck. Face. This would be guitar head. Let's call it metal. Yeah, just as long as it's descriptive. So the way that I like to do things is, okay, it's part of the guitar, then where it's at, it's on the head, and then the sub piece, so it's the metal piece. If you were to get a project from someone else and they find this type of, hey, the Brianator, Welcome on in. As long as the names are descriptive enough like this, I think they're good enough. Or if you get someone else's file and the names are descriptive and they know exactly where it should be, then you've done a good job. Okay, so for this one, let's see. I think with this one, I'm starting to wonder if it might be better to have the axe oriented to the front. Because okay, from the side view, this thing is not symmetrical at all. But I would imagine that if you would look at it from the front, because this is also supposed to be a weapon, it has to be balanced, and like, having a center line on that axis would probably help a lot. Going to hop into a work meeting in minutes, just stopping by to say hi. Oh, very much appreciated. Yes, and the design of this thing is very sick. And once again, I am not the person who made this. The 2D art is made by someone called Ale55 on social media. Go check them out. They make really cool characters. Okay, so to fix that, I'll go to unmask center and just rotate it 90 degrees. We'll do the same for the base. So holding down shift, I can snap them. That's 5 degrees too far. Right, and then let's go to position X 0 so that they're on the center line. Let's set this offset to right. 0, offset 0. Okay. So now if we manipulate the thickness. Yes. Alright. Hey Uncle Wolfie, welcome on in. Okay. So the last thing that we need to do now is restore our camera so it aligns enough. Camera probably wants me to have perspective again, and we'll just delete selected camera and create a new one. Okay. So now we're looking at it from the front, so we can work on this symmetrically. Large move brush, let's try to move this into place because this is a large piece. And then we look at it from the front and it's a big chunk, so we'll Dynamesh. I'll do Dynamesh at a higher resolution, let's say 256. Yeah. And we can try to do something which is called a clip curve. I believe I've talked about this one in the past. It's where you draw a line and you get this dotted line with a shadow on one side. Everything that's on the shadow side of this line is going to get clipped away. That is that is how this tool is intended to work. So if we now draw like this and draw a curve, you can see that you get a very clean cut. So it just pushes all of these polygons in. I imagine that because this is supposed to be a sharp edge, let's create something of a cut, something like this. Let's give it more resolution. This is where you see, okay, this is where the edge is supposed to be. Oh, Bone Circle, thank you very much for the follow. Okay, I'm gonna try to freehand this part a little bit, so let me... Wait, I should not move this reference. Alright, so I'll hide this for the moment, and then again, I use PureRef. On my other monitor, I'll zoom in at that one. I'll see if I can replicate the shape like this. Let's carve in the baselines with Damien Standard. Let's see how much we can fix with... See how much we can fix by just eyeballing it. Probably is going to involve a lot of edge polish to really get those planes in. Okay. Quite a... Since this is point, this should probably end up in point as well, which gives us that. Okay. This looks roughly enough the shape of that we want to. Okay, trying to get this line in here, so... We have some carved things here. Hang on, am I being a bit daft? I think I am. Does look like this has... If this only goes to the middle, it's supposed to be a lot more in line. This. So this sometimes happens with the clip curve. It just clips it by pushing it up. So sometimes from a different angle you'll have to clean that up. Okay. Bit messy, but I think it gets the message across. Okay. So again, I like to block out everything, get a sense of are all the elements proportionate. Let's check with our camera and move as accordingly. So nudge it a little bit. This is wrong. This needs to go down. This needs to go up. Okay. Okay. So let's look at this part. We will hit, well, since we're working on this axis now, let's actually accept this geometry. We hit accept, and now when we hit space, rather mirror and well, so we get our center line back. Same for this one. We apply, we mirror and weld, and now we can manipulate it from the front view so that if we make adjustments, it will actually keep it symmetrical on both sides. And we can do things like this. Let's see, so one thing that I noticed from last time is that in the original concept on the top right we can see a small metal piece like right where his left hand is, poking behind in this hip, and in the original paint over that I did, there was nothing there. It was just a flat back of the axe. So what I did is I got this piece and I put it over here, just to see if we can echo the shape language. See if we can make this look for an interesting shape. This will have to be narrower. See, clip curve. You can get some planes in here, or otherwise a very strong H-polish brush. Hey Galen, welcome on in. Yes, new stream. I've been busy, but I want to do at least one stream a week, and it looks like Wednesdays 3 o'clock my time are nice. Like a nice timing for it. I feel like I still have energy. It's the middle of the week. So yeah, I think this is slowly gonna be one of the days that's gonna be part of my. It's gonna be part of my routine days where I'll be streaming. Okay. Let's see what else do we have. Yeah, so it's not about only, okay, having a lot of viewers is nice because that helps getting your name out there. But I'm also doing this a lot to discipline myself into working on personal projects more consistently to not have them last like over 9 months to make something that was supposed to be a small, quick learning project. Because you just don't put in the time, or rather, I don't put in the time. I tend to start things with full enthusiasm, and then at some point it dies off. So it's like, okay, cool. If we start live streaming regularly, that should help with that. Let me taper the neck a little bit more. Yeah, yeah, leverage the magic of peer pressure. It helps a lot when you're in a room where friends are supporting you. Um, it's like having a gym buddy, where okay, I don't feel like going to the gym, but my friend is going and they're dragging me along, so I'm going. I'm not gonna try and get away from it. Okay. Hey Caducean, welcome on in. Nice to see you in here. Okay, let me pin the neck a little bit. Face well, because the big chunky parts are from the the axe parts. So let's see. Thank you very much, Caducean. I've been doing well. I've been doing busy. The freelance gig is taking a lot of mental capacity, but I should reserve some energy for these live streams. Okay, so let's focus on the blade part. Yeah, like tag teaming each other to do chores and creative projects. It's you elevate each other, which is beautiful. Okay, let's see, guitar bass. Rename this to guitar. Guitar body metal piece, so that'll refer to that one, and now we'll make one for the axe. Guess we can duplicate this one and rename it to guitar blade metal piece. Oh. Big brush, big movements, and just chunk it into place. We'll worry about getting it into the proper shape. Or like, I'm not thinking about topology right now. So big messy movements, and we have to get the shape in there first. Not being precious about it just yet. Okay, and then we have this clip curve. And we have this huge point at the bottom, for which we will be using the AQ curve. It's, again, a nice little feature from ZBrush. AQ curve causes, if you move something, to have a lot more like a needle-like point at the end. If I were to extrude it like this, Okay, we do get a bit of a needle-like point, but if I were to use AccuCurve, you can see how much sharper that is. So to put both of them on there, this is a regular move tool. This is one with AccuCurve. So if you want to do spikes, I highly recommend using AccuCurve on your workflow, which causes a lot sharper points to be created a lot easier. Okay, then we'll turn it off. Actually, no, we'll last 3 curves as well. Are we working symmetrical? Yes, we are, and otherwise we can always hit mirror and weld. Okay, so... Oh! Hey, Deke, thank you very much for the Prime sub. Hello, welcome on in. Oh god! Hi Deke, welcome on in. Thank you very much for the gifted subs. Those are how many? Deke gave out 5 community sub gifts. Thank you so much, Deke. Subscriptions going out to Blue, Uncle Wolfie, Not So Fat Matt, Galen, Danny, and then Valorant throwing some on there as well for Caducean and Kadoku. Thank you so much, Teak. Very much appreciate that. Alright, so yeah, to everyone who just got a sub from Deke, enjoy the Canyon Love emote. That's the only, well, let's see. We have the Canyon Love and the legally distinct Canyon Love, which is absolutely not Jano Love. Because Jano got rid of that emote. And we got a hype train, thank you. Still don't fully understand what those things do. You can get a lot. You can get extra emotes from them. Nice. Let's see. Okay. This needs to. We have something of a much larger spike here. This goes here. The clip curve. We hammer down that shit, yeah. This one has shifter modes like this. So what I probably will end up doing later on is retopologize it inside ZBrush, which is a scary sentence. Though with that I mean I'm going to just you can redraw. It's you can do basic quad tool drawing inside ZBrush, which is going to help make all of this become a lot tighter in terms of flow. Like, as we can see that we have this wobbly line here. Yeah, it's because we have so many polygons. When we reduce those, then again we're gonna have sub-D topology, which is going to give far cleaner results. We just have to do the basic block art first, because that retopology is gonna be a lot more work. But so far we're getting the shape. Okay. Again, X. Get it for the neck. Got away from us a little bit, so pull it down again. And with that, the hype train is over. We got a level 2, and we have some emotes that we got from this. With this Diva emote unlocked. Nice. All thanks to Deek. Thank you so much again for those gifted subs. Let's actually, this topology is not that workable for sculpting, so let's go ahead and actually dynamesh this. Because we can see that there are some plane changes on it, especially here in the back, where we can see. Actually, one thing that I'm wondering, I can do a polyplane projection. So if I were to do this, we actually drew on it, which actually helps quite a lot with where I should be putting the planes. Here, this, I should have done this from the start. Line up here. This. DQ absolutely did something. Also, Ilianos, the only good emote from the new hype train, said, "What is that? I am clap." It's a very energetic clap. Okay, so let's see, we want to put this. Oh, should keep symmetry turned on. We'll chunk it in with a clay brush first then. So turn off polypaint. Maybe a flatten. Hey Big Hank, thank you very much for popping by. Uh, yeah, like what time is it over there? Uh, what, 1 in the morning? Yeah, it's going well. We're working on blocking out the axe. Hey Lurk Kobold, welcome on in. We have, yeah, we have this area. The midnight hour. Ah, yeah, because let's see, that is 7, 8 hours ahead of me. Can I do basic math? Yeah, you're 8 hours ahead of me. Also, this is where the funny things start happening, where I'm looking at the 2D concept and we have this edge here, which indicate that this area is higher, like it's pushed upwards, and this area is pushed downward. Then how does this area work? Like, is this like a slanted? Is it in here? Or is it that this entire part is elevated? Maybe it's that this part is elevated. Like that it's the centerpiece, it's where all of the mass should be of the axe. Yeah, maybe this needs to be thicker than the rest. If we were to the axe go to center, shrink it in a little. We're gonna shape this kind of like this. The guitars have like a backing plate there under the strings or something. I'm not quite sure. I found some reference images of guitars, and it looks that the front facing part of the guitar is always flat. Because I imagine as you string, as you go over the strings, you don't want to get caught behind anything that's like sticking out slightly and miss a beat. And then you have like the box, which should be acoustic. And also, the more I'm thinking about this, the more I'm starting to realize that this part should not be sent over potential reference. Alright, let me check. Yeah, so I have some references similar like this on my PureRef that all of you can't see. But that does look like it's in the same vein of an elevated area that's on top. So then this area will also need to have pushed up. If I were to do this. Hang on, I'm flatlining for a sec, or my brain is flatlining for a split second of what should happen here. Gene Simmons had a straight up axe bass, and yeah, the strings were always the highest bit. Hang on, let me see if I can quickly find that image. If I can do this in record time, because I don't want all of you to... Okay, yes, that is a legitimate axe that is going onto the reference board. Thank you very much, Big Hank. Yes, this is going to help answer questions. That thing is rad. And most likely the inspiration for this thing. Yeah. We'll probably thin this out. Let this be more of a taper. Okay, let's reproject the texture, see how it aligns. Suffixes, thank you very much for following. Alright, and good night, Big Hank. Thank you very much for stopping by. Have a good sleep. Looks like this needs to go lower. Okay. And we can, one more time, fully paint over it. So that looks like it's aligning. Okay. Let's put the skull on there. Let's see. This one's probably gonna be more than a little bit tricky. Since I think this is where it starts to cheat in 2D quite a bit. Because looking at the bolt that's keeping that skull in place versus the thickness of the skull, or rather the width, this is gonna be something. So let's see, we can put a sphere on here, move it into place. We'll be dynameshing this, and let's squish it into place. Symmetry on? Nope, now it is. Alright. First things first, that thing is way too big. Okay, so this is probably where I'm gonna be. Oh, those are the beans. I'll be trusting on my own knowledge of what a skull should look like, and trying to see if I can make something out of this first. Yeah, there's some people that have like a 1 million channel point redeem in order to show the beans, and over here we occasionally show them as we try to snap our camera to certain angles. Alright, this is gonna be rough. So I'll just put this in solo for now and actually try to sculpt skull. So we have nose cavity, we have eye sockets. Looking at the concept, this has quite a sharp edge to it. We have these planes. Again, IQ curve. We have these planar shapes in the back. These shapes are confusing. But we'll make do. But again, the skull is drawn in perspective. It's slightly facing away from us, so we have to figure out how it actually works. Okay, let me actually put in some landmarks that are on an actual skull. So we have zygomatic cheekbone. That is way too far forward. What on earth is this skull doing? I should have grabbed more reference for this, but we should be fine. Oh wait, no. I know what the hell's going on. I completely botched the nose. The nose should be far lower. That's what this indentation is. Welcome back, Uncle Wolfie. But this is the nose indentation. This is nose ridge. Nasal cavity goes here. Let's see, more resolution. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. needs to be a flatter ridge for the teeth to protrude from. So again, the reference is quite, it's facing away from us. We don't have all the information, so this is where an artist has to bank on their internal knowledge. And I am making with a lot of withdrawals as we speak. I'm trying to figure out as much, or like remember as much as I know from, okay, I've sculpted skulls, I've sculpted heads. Like what is the width of the cheekbone at what point? Like what's the depth of it? Once we add it all together, we eventually get something that resembles a skull. I could cheat a little bit, and from one of the Zebra's default projects, there is a human skeleton, and I could reference that skull. Though that would involve me opening up some menus, and I'm not quite sure what's going to be in those. So, not today, but maybe in the future. Certainly recognizable whether it resembles one or not. Ah, good. And just oh. Just thinking about, okay, what is the widest part? That would probably be the cheekbones. These things are a lot more. Got the plane changes here. This needs to go back. So I'm going to set the embed 5. Reduce intensity so we have a little bit more finer control over it. And really punch in those eye sockets. Yeah, sorry Deke, that's what I call it, punching in the eye sockets. Also, Leaderoo, thank you very much for following. Very much appreciated. Hello. Come and see the violence inherited in the system, yes, where we punch in shapes. Yeah, welcome on in, Lee. Out of curiosity, how did you find the stream? Just, I'm recognizing a few names in the follower list, so I wonder how they managed to find me. Is it like a Twitch recommendation or the Blue Sky notification? I kind of want to see what's working and what is not. Twitch recommendation. Okay, cool. Like that is a feature that I don't quite use a lot on Twitch because I kind of found the core team of streamers that I would like to watch, and with the amount of time that I have, that is enough. I'm not quite sure how much I use of the discoverability features and what it like has these days. This needs to be more. like we can offset at some point, that's fine. This is why we hit the mirror and well button. We have again this large incisor. I think we're getting close to it now. Okay. Let's say that that skull looks decent enough. Now we have this large bolt that is supposed to keep it in place, and again, whenever we want to make something new, the first question I ask myself is, have we made something similar like this in the past? To which the answer is yes. This bolt looks very much in line with the bolt that's keeping that skull intact. Or in place, I should say. So duplicate. Move to the bottom of the stack. Let's see if we can weld it in. We only need one. Right, we're on clip brush, so select rectangle, we can get rid of one. I think we can hit delete hidden. Nope. Subdivision levels. Delete hidden. And again, there is a way to line up your seat, to line up the gizmo again so that it's perfectly flush with one of the faces. In all my years of using ZBrush, I have never found a feature. Or they might have snuck it in 2024, and I do not have that version. Okay, so this is where it gets a bit weird, because on 2D, it works. You just draw a bolt on top of the skull and your brain will think, okay, that's how it's supposed to be stuck. Here we have a 3D shape. So to have a bolt sit like this, and then just have the audience go like, oh yeah, just don't worry about it, this is how this thing is affixed. It's kind of a bigger ask, because now we have like volume and depth to compete with. Also, let's see, what is the color of that gold? Probably the same as this one. So, first off, rename. Minor spelling mistake, guitar, skull, bolt. We should probably mirror and weld. Yeah. So whenever something like this happens where ZBrush is nagging, hey, I have multiple subdivision levels, you cannot mirror me because that's a mathematical thingy which doesn't work if you have subdivision levels. What you can do is delete lower, so there are no more subdivision levels. ZBrush will not complain. We hit mirror and weld, so we get it on the opposite side. And then we say, okay, now reconstruct the subdivision levels. This is going to... This does require some math of like calculation power. So sometimes ZBrush will just not do it, or rather it'll shut down your system. It's having a lot of trouble with the last one, and here we have it again. So laser paints, thank you very much for the follow, very much appreciate it. So now we have this element, and when we go up to subdivision levels, they have their high poly detail back again. Color, fill objects. Fill. Oh wait. Oh. Okay, I need to be careful with that because I just did I also assigned a material, and that is going to break a lot of things, and I don't know how to fix that. So we have to make sure that we're on RGB only. Why? Oh, because RGB intensity is set to 26. No, I want the full color. So for this, fill object. Let's see, skull is going to be the same color as this element. This thing, I had this color. There we go. And then the body and the neck should probably be gray, very much like the shoulder pattern. I'll check for actual hard surface sculpting is scary, absolutely. Again, I'm forcing myself to do this inside ZBrush because I need to get better at the workflow in here. If I was going to be using my comfort tool Maya, I would be able to knock this thing out a whole lot faster. But that is not the what do you call it? It's not the spirit of this project. I'd like to try and learn a lot more in ZBrush. Okay, and I will keep the poly paint of this one for now because here we have an element that I still need to block in, which is the part where the threads get into the model, or rather where they end. So let's see, can we block out, extract? We do not need thickness yet. We accept. So it did it on both sides. And for this element, the strings are only on one side. So this part in the back, we don't need it. We can just get rid of that, delete hidden. Most people would just do it for convenience of not having to switch programs. Over the years, I've gotten quite comfortable with finding workflows between ZBrush and Maya and quickly exporting things between them. So, I mean, being able to dynamesh things and just quickly block them out inside ZBrush, that is a quicker way than, or at least to me, that is a quicker way of blocking things out. And after this step, I usually would knock it over to Maya in order to do the clean retopology over it with sub-D modeling in order to get all the very crisp shapes. But again, for the purpose of this project, I want to see if I can find some new workflows inside ZBrush. If I did more 3D, I'd probably polymodel and then dynamesh and sculpt for organic form, so the other way around. That's how it used to be. I think this was 2011, 2012. Basically before ZBrush got Dynamesh. Dynamesh was a game changer. Because back then, you indeed had the inside Maya or Blender, you would model out something that had topology that would allow for sculpting. You would import that into ZBrush. Oh, Marin, thank you very much for the sub. Very much appreciated. You would model a mud puppet in Maya, export that over to ZBrush, pull on the polygons as much as possible, export back to Maya, retopologize it again so you'd have more evenly spaced quads, then export it back to ZBrush, and then you start sculpting on it. Axel the Wereline, thank you very much for the follow. Hi Marin, welcome on in. Hang on. There. Doing it back to you. Okay, hang on. We're sliding back into lots of talking, not so much working. So let's fix that. Let me focus for a second. Remesh. So again, this is too much polygons. Let's remesh it a bunch of times. Looking at it, I probably could have just started with a square. Because again, its most basic. Its most basic form is literally a cube. Right. Let's see. Extrude all polygons, give it some thickness. So yeah, I might as well just get rid of these edges because we're getting wonky results. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're back at the cube. Back where it all started. Let's see. Give it a little bit of a taper. I'm not going to be as focused on wanting to have clean, perfect straight lines, because I think all of these little imperfections give them more character. So, cube. Yep, it always comes back to cube. Okay, let's see. Probably embed a little bit so we don't have accidental intersection. Another bean shot. I should almost start keeping a counter to the amount of times where I accidentally show the beans of this character. E and the proto cube. Taper that a little bit. Oh god, because we did not start from a cube, the orientation is off, so let me see if I can actually get it to work like this. Taper. Yes, alright. See if we can slightly taper it off. And then we have these, I think I drew them as capsules. I have some references, and the way that the strings connect to this element, like on the body of the guitar, it's either in a small little what do you call that? Like a little bead. Though I'm also looking at that axe that got pointed out earlier, and they actually go into something of a larger. Like they go into a full-blown cover. So what I was planning for visual reference or for visual interest was capping some cylinders in here. One multiple subdivisions, it cries. Because these need to be evenly spaced, new drinking game, please don't. I don't want to get anyone killed. Okay. So these things need to be spaced out evenly because we have, I believe, 4 strings. I don't know if that is correct from an like actual guitar point of view, but on the concept it looks like it is 1, 2, 3, 4 strings. So I can either try to eyeball it as a human being, which is probably never going to look like proper. So what I can do is use an array mesh, which is basically telling it, hey, grab this item, duplicate it X amount of times. So. Okay, base can be 4 or 5, but 4 is more common. Alright. That's what we in the industry call a bass. Okay. This is where it becomes very quickly apparent that I know nothing about musical instruments. Right, so with this, I believe this is, yeah, we're coming towards us, so that will be negative X. Somewhere in here, yeah, offset. Oh wait, X amount. Oh, there we go. So this is how you would have one element and then you just tell it to duplicate it a whole bunch. Though we should not be going in X, we'll then probably have to go in Z. Yes. So as a test I said 13, so we only need 4. We have something like this. Yeah, it's a learning experience. Because yeah, again, thank you to chat for giving me random bits of trivia, which I can then use to win trivia games in the future. In return, you get valuable ZBrush and 3D sculpting demos live. So over here, it's an array mesh. So again, it's not yet committed, which is nice. This is a good thing. Because again, if in the future we get feedback from an art director that says, hey, at this distance, these elements are too squished together, we need them to be spaced out a bit more. Okay, because they're basically fake. You can just add a different numerical value and space them out differently depending on what the art director wants. And again, if you change one, you'll change all of them because these are instances. Okay, and then we There's probably a name for this piece as well. I don't know it. String anchor base. Right, now we can duplicate this one. We will shrink it a little bit. Oh. It appears that there has been a... Oh, okay, so it looks at the... This doesn't look at the pivot, this looks at the bounding box. Okay, so I'll have to adjust that a bit. I thought I was gonna get away with just having to, if I could duplicate them, thin them up a bit. And then I will have to readjust this value so that hopefully they will line up. Let's do 19, negative 19. It looks decent. Right, let's pivot down here and now we can just string them up. Let's see, we have this vertex that's going up, so what if we just... clip curve, yes, and then we'll just flip it like this. There we go. Now it looks like it's anchored inside. Okay. Looking at the reference, it does have those little crossbars that go over the neck. We have a bit of a wobble, so we can restore that by getting rid of these edge loops. Let's see, we have... Well, actually, it's going to be these things again. Duplicate, turn off the array mesh. These are going to be the things that are here. And from, as I understand it, these things should be like touching the strings just barely, I imagine. Probably want to be a bit more like this. To kick them up in Y value for a bit. Let's see. It looks like these things get more... Okay, so the further they go up, the more that they space out. So let's say if we have 13, with the Y profile, so if I do this, yeah, so then at the base they're more closer to each other, and the further they go up, the more they space out, which appears to be how these things actually work. looking at the reference, because again, what I think I know versus what's on the reference are two different things. So if we look at the reference, we actually see that this thing only has 1, 2, 3, 4 visible. If we look at where his right hand is, so the strings can sit a variety of heights above him, but they do hover only slightly. Okay, so they don't touch. I mean, this is a microscopic detail that you'll probably never see, but let's make sure that there is space in between them then. And let's just place them manually. So we see one that's roughly right here. Let's see, one here. One here, and then we have a few stuck together here. And the neck of the guitar should probably be a bit thicker so that they're more embedded. That is a chunky neck. We should probably taper that. Okay, yeah, because I imagine the second they hit one of these things, they change the frequency of the wire, and then you don't get the sound from it that you want. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and taper this, see how that looks. Because again, your hand needs to fit alongside the neck, otherwise this thing will be way too chunky. Sunkissed Mimosa, thank you very much for the follow. Oh, damn it. Okay, so it also tapered it in... Okay, I only wanted it to taper in... like... only from the front view, but apparently it also tapers it in that way, so... How do we solve this? Or rather... Wait, rather than taper, it would probably be a skew. No, I'm completely wrong. It is absolutely not skew. Does it? Theoretically, we could then use the deformer, which is more freeform. These are functions that I have not used before, and ZBrush's interface is very much black magic. So, okay, we don't need this. Don't need this. And then if we grab this. No, this is not gonna work with this one either. So it has to be taper. I just need to tell it to taper in only one area. ZBrush, why are you doing this? Why can't I just taper in one axis only? Yes, comparing ZBrush's interface to an Eldritch Abomination rather than Black Magic, yes. Because again, it it has some really nice functionality to it, but my god, do I like you really need to make some pacts in order to make it work. Oh, okay, so these opacity things at the front, or rather at the top, is what's going to make it to okay, so if we set this opacity to 0, it's going to leave that axis alone. Seizakia, thank you very much for the follow. So these controllers up here is what's causing the taper to work or not, or to scale in the other way. Okay, cool. Today we learned. Yes, as Deke was saying, this is Eldritch knowledge. We're gonna hit accept on that one, and we're not gonna look back at it. Okay. And then we have a little bit of, so we know that these things are straight up, so this needs to be changed. It's fine. We'll fix it at some point. ZBrush's buttons. Oh, you mean like these little white dots that are on the options? Where that does something? Where we have dynamic that sits, it's a button on top of a slider, and if you like, you need to get real good in order to click it. Yes. Again, I've been using ZBrush for over 10 years now, which makes my bones turn like start to creak if I think about it. I still have no idea what, like, it's the iceberg meme. I've been at the top layer and a little bit under the ocean layer, but there's stuff down there in the abyss of ZBrush, of functions that I've never even seen. But yeah, we'll leave that for a different day. Let's see. So I touched things a little bit and now it's no longer perfectly aligned. So again, this is more of a we're learning. Which slide we have? Hi, I wonder why you don't use Blender or any other software for your base. It's because I would like to try and do it inside ZBrush. That is the sole reason. If I were to do this in Maya, I would be able to fly through this. But for the purposes of this project, I'd like to see if I can get better at hard surface modeling inside ZBrush itself. So call it a self-imposed challenge. Okay. Yeah, in the past, things like swords, guns, armor pieces, goggles, glasses, all those type of things, I tend to do them inside Maya just because the modeling tools over there are like a lot quicker and cleaner for those type of shapes. But I just wanted to see if I could do it inside ZBrush. Okay, let's see, and then we have... Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I guess this is a funny bit. The top of the neck has 5 bolts. In order to put a string on, it just only has 4 strings, so one of them is just plain empty. Alright. We'll go with that. So okay. Let's go back to, let's say, a cylinder. Because these are hexagon bolts. Yeah, so Panda Kurai, for me as well, hard surface in ZBrush is a nightmare that I'm slowly getting better at, and this is basically training. So in order to get, for example, for this next step, I need to get a hexagon shape. Rather than trying to sculpt the hexagon, I now know that I can go to initialize. And then say, hey, for this one, give me 6 sides, or rather 100. This 6 sides. Hey, surprise, we have a hexagon. We don't need these. And now we go back to our tool, and we can append. We can append the cylinder, and as you can see, it is the hexagon that we just made. So with this, let's taper it a little bit, because again, things that go straight down versus things that are tapered, tapered surfaces tend to catch better highlights. So I've become a fan of tapering. We will just slightly taper it. Flatten it. We hit accept. Make this into its own poly shape, or rather its own polygroup. Insert polygroup. Now we're going to extrude it. Or rather, extrude polygroup 1, 2. And now we're going to extrude this loop. Give that a new polygroup as well. We can get rid of this loop. And now we are going to use this. Slightly scale that as well, so we have taper again. And then this, to me, looks like one of these things that goes on the top of the guitar head. Though if we subdivide, it turns to mush, which we don't want, so that's why we are going to give it some creases. Okay, and we will crease everything that's over 45 degrees. Crease level 3. Yes, alright. Guitar. Oh, minor spelling mistake. Our head, bold, world space. This one goes into the head space, the world origin, or rather world space elements. This one is gonna get placed. Okay. Yuki Yui, thank you very much for the follow, and HDMZ, thank you very much for the follow, which was 5 minutes ago. Sorry, that slipped past. Okay, so here we have, it looks like 2 big ones on the top, and we're gonna have 3 smaller ones on the other side. And they should taper a little bit, because otherwise the strings won't have enough space. Okay, so this is... Okay, because this head is tapering, I guess we untaper the head. Again, first I'm making a guitar, so I'm learning a lot about what these shapes should be, and this is the point where things need to physically line up. Like these things, I don't know what they're called, but they're attached to the they're attached to the head of the guitar. Like this one is floating. That should not be happening, and it actually looks like, thanks to the scaling, they have different embeds, which is wrong. I need to fix that. What I'll do first is I'll have the bases align. With bases I mean where the threads should be. So you might as well just duplicate this one and put it back in place. Okay, so we select one pane, or rather one thing. We hit expand. We invert selection, we delete hidden. So now all of them should be on the same, like on the same base. Yep, they're all embedded. So with this one, this thing should not have an extra loop. Oh, I know. We I need to get both of these. Yes. Okay, so now they all have the same spacing. We do the same for the bases, where if I hit can I uniformly scale them? Yes, I can. Okay. Now I can slightly nudge them out. Alright, all of this for for a detail that is going to be only a few pixels big. But again, this is for the learning thing. Okay, so again with this one, these strings, again, if I was doing this in Maya, I would be doing this with curve system. But we're not doing this in Maya, we're doing this in ZBrush. And I'm not using the curve tool in ZBrush. That thing is wild. Okay. We're gonna ignore that freak out of ZBrush just now. Now we have... Okay, I guess it's time to commit to the array mesh because ZBrush is doing some wonky stuff. Make mesh. So now we have these 4 threads that are genuinely geometry. Okay, for the people who play guitar in chat, are these strings supposed to go perfectly straight, or do they somewhat taper out at the end? Like, are they allowed to kind of just wiggle like this at the end? They're not, right? They're supposed to be perfectly straight, all of them. Because if so, I'll probably have to change the design of the head a little bit so it accommodates for the space. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking, Uncle Wolfie. The freelance gig's going well. I need to commit more time to it, but overall it's been going great. Learning a lot of new things from it. And once the NDA is lifted in the future, I should be able to talk about it, because currently my hands are tied. Rather, I'm not allowed to say anything about it. I'm tempted because these things have a lot of edges running all around the length, but for now it's fine. Yeah, NDAs, and NDAs is the one thing that you should absolutely always respect, no matter what, when you work in the industry. If you break your NDA, you're basically gone. bit fuzzy on if they can have a bend at the first fret where they get wrapped, especially in the bass. I know my guitar has strings that are all straight and wrapped. Okay. In which case I will adjust these. I'll adjust these elements so that they properly line up. Thank you, Marin. Because it looks like these things can rotate further. Okay, they can veer off above the first fret where they get warped. Okay. I guess for this we can just have them veer like this. This one put a bit lower so it's more on pattern. Square. Nope. Not that type of square. This type of square. And then we'll move this out a bit more, so we have more space to put those strings. Probably not physically accurate, but just so we have more space over there to imply that, hey, these things connect. Let's focus on this shit for a bit. This is happening because we are previewing with thickness. Dynamic, yeah, thickness 0, okay. Increases. And let's manually increase a few, see if we can get those warpings out. Let me also get rid of the center line for a split second. We'll put it back in at a later time, but for now it's causing some warping, so out. So again, this is basically sub-D modeling like how you would do it in Maya, so I'm kind of cheating. I'm trying to emulate Maya as much as possible. We're only having a few polygons to work with, and we're letting the subdivision smoothing do all of the heavy lifting in order to get some really nice curves. And this crease is working out. All right. Now grab these polygons. Again, this is not the topology that's going to be on the final model. This is topology that we use to get the sub-D shape right. This is going to get every topology pass all the way at the end. So this topology is just, I need to get this shape and I need to get it now. Okay, so that is adequate. Looking at the shape, not happy with how the spacing of these buttons is. So I think we're gonna make it longer. Again, it has slight perspective in the drawing, so it's not a crime. Pull these up, pull this one down. This one up by a lot more. And yeah, I think the gold piece over here just needs to sit a bit higher. And then we get the shape that we want. Okay. I'd say that looks decent. Cool. Where they wrap around the... I could fake it, which I will. Second, as I also give some new color to it. So let's grab color from this metal. Color, add. This is supposed to be a dull one. This is also getting this color for now. We'll worry about this clipping now. So it does look like they should bend a little bit more. So one more time. It's a shame that we can't... Again, Maya having multiple viewports, so with one camera you could really zoom in on one hand and then with the other you could rotate it to really get it to line up. ZBrush doesn't have such a thing. So we are going to eyeball it. Wait, mesh array? Oh, we have the wrong element. Again, we'll put it as close to the base as we can. Start rotating it, and then just zoom in a couple of times. Alright, that looks That looks as close as we're gonna get it. Cool. Make sure that these things are a bit more embedded. These are supposed to be rotated. Okay. I say that looks good. What else? Right, we have these the things sticking out from the sides that you can turn to, what do you call it? To like tighten them up. Okay, so once again, what is the most basic shape? I see a cylinder and then I see like an arrow shape up top, so that could be a rectangle that's dented inwards. So that's exactly what we'll do. So we are going to grab, or rather we're going to append. We're not going to grab the cylinder because that's going, or rather cylinder 1 is now set as a prefab for the hexagonal shape and I need an actual cylinder, so we grab this one. Again, we'll make one in world space first. Eyeball it a bit. Also, oh dear, we've been going for 2 hours. I need to get a hydrate. Quick BRB, everyone get up, stretch your legs, and do a posture check. Okay. That should be good on the hydration again. Because hydration is important. So, let's see, we have the center. So we have the rod piece. Now we are just going to append a cube. Surgery. Delete hidden, we don't need all of this. Let's see, so this. See modeler, get rid of these loops. So we technically don't need them, and now we're just gonna smush this into place. Let's see, shape-wise. Why is this not working? Oh, there we go. Okay. Not quite sure what caused it to not work for a split second there, but it's fine. So, looking at the angle, looking at it from a distance, the rod can be a bit shorter. This needs to get a thickness. So we extrude all polygons. And we set it back to position Z0, so we know that this thing is perfectly centered. And I'm gonna give it again a small taper, because again tapers are nice for catching highlights. Let's see, can we combine this? I mean, merge down. Yes, I would like these two to become one. We have to crease a few things. So crease. This is giving some issues. So we don't have enough polygons. Insert. Crease the center line as well. To me that looks like something that can fit on the neck of the guitar. Guitar, no minor spelling mistakes. Wire tighten or wall space, it's fine. So we'll keep one on world space as a backup. Goes into the folder. And this one is going to go onto the model itself. And we'll duplicate it a bunch. Oh. Because we have symmetry turned on. There we go. So one for you, one for you, and 3 smaller ones for these. Move this one up a bit so it aligns better. Okay. It's looking pretty solid to me. Move this one up a little bit more. Again. Okay. So I'd say this is coming along quite nicely. For a block out, you could send this, rather you could ask for like, hey, feedback, are the proportions looking good? Are they like all the elements that you were wishing for, are they there? Detail wise, it's not there yet, especially since how mushy all of it looks. But for a first pass, I'd say this is good. Let's see, give this a color. And these need to get their color as well. Okay, let's do some scene bookkeeping. So we are going to put them all in a folder. So new folder, we'll call it guitar world space. And this is where we're going to put all of the elements in. Also, we should probably save, because we have not done that this entire time. So this is going to be version 7. Okay. Okay, so let's... This is something that I like to do as a quick test. We should see if this thing is actually also the proper scale in relation to the character that's going to be swinging it around. So what we can do, I believe, is merge folder, which is going to give us a... When you hit merge folder, let me increase visibility count. When I hit options merge folder, what it did was it looked at all of the subtools that are inside the folder, combine those, and then give it a new duplicate that's sitting outside. So it's a scary button to press because ZBrush is always very... it asks you double, like, hi, are you sure you wish to merge this, because this is going to be deleting history from the object that is going to get merged into it. So it can be a scary button, but for folders like this, merge folder, it will give you a clean duplicate without getting rid of any of the originals. Okay, so let's... What's this? Oh, okay, cool. So if you have things masked, they get excluded from the merge. We're learning. Okay, we'll delete this one. We do not freak out because all of the subtools that are in here are just... They're not gone, they were just hidden, so no need to panic. Once again, merge folder. Now we have this. Let's see. Move it around. Yep, there's all the elements, and now we'll just quickly put it in place. Just to see scale-wise, like how well does it line up with the concept. So if I were to put it here, it feels small. It feels like it should be like something like this. So if we look at the value, that is 1.35. Yeah, if we scale it up to 1.35, now it looks like something of the concept of this thing. Like it's aligning here with the hip, it's aligning with the foot. So we modeled it too small. We'll just have to scale it up a little bit with the transpose tool. So yeah, I'd say that this is a good scale. We'll have to clean the back of it. We'll probably have to invent some detail for the back of it because this is now just it's empty, it doesn't have detail, and it's not fun to look at. Whereas at the front we have the strings, we have like all of this detail. This is nice. We'll have to fix that. Where did my... Right, because those are instances that didn't get copied. Okay. So 1.35 is what we would like it to be. If you go to the guitar world space folder and we hit transpose set, then everything that's in here, this is ZBrush's way of showing what is selected and what is not. It's this button here, transpose all selected subtools. Everything that is not, everything that does not have these gray lines through them are excluded. So only the guitar is now going to get scaled. As in multiple subtools being scaled at once. So if we hit orientation, we go to unmask center. Why are you... It should go to it's uncentered, so this makes me think that something might be off. Oh wait, no. It was in the uncentered mass of the... yeah, so I was on the I think I was on the hair lock. So if we go to this subtool, we are in the center of it. So from here on out we can scale 1.35. Yes. Now if you go left or right, it's... Alright. So that's the guitar scaled up, now it's the proper size. We undo this. Oh, looks like this did not get scaled with. Okay, why is that? Does it have a mask, or is it not part of the group? Let's try that again. It should move. So again, transpose set. Everything down here is masked out. 1.35. Okay. It does look like that did the job. See, no details being missing. Okay. To me that looks like we got everything, so now the axe is in the proper scale. We'll move it back a little bit. And then we unmask everything, or rather we toggle this off again. This thing is no longer needed, so we can get rid of it. So now we know it's the correct shape, or rather the correct size. Okay. I wonder, am I going to make a fool out of myself again? Probably. So, ZBrush does have an arcane way, or sorry, an eldritch way of doing retopology. And I believe it involved appending the Z-sphere, which you keep on the world origin. You select the Z-sphere, you go down, you go to adaptive skin, or was it topology? Edit topology. now somewhere you can start drawing things. Yeah, so this is ZBrush's retopology tool. Where if you click on things and you quad draw, you should start getting topology. Also, I'm not in symmetry, so get rid of this, get rid of this. Okay, so this is effectively quad drawing like you would have in Maya or in Blender. There was a time where I was more proficient with it, but then I didn't use it for a whole bunch of time. So if we click like this, we should get topology like this. Oh. So if we were to, let's say, okay, this is fine, we get rid of edit topology, we can see that we actually have polygons now, which, why are they transparent? Probably a preview. So if we say Dynamesh 0 review and we say make adaptive skin, that will get us a new subtool that we can now append back on the original tool. See skin, yes. So now we have a bit of actual topology that we can manipulate, and it's going to give us far cleaner results than the age polish sculpted one. Though I did not do the bottom, so we can delete this one. We go back to the Z sphere. We'll have to turn off everything except this one. Yeah. This is tedious, but also I've only done it a handful of times, so there are people out there who will absolutely fly through this. So once you get the hang of it again, you can draw cleaner topology. It's just the order of how you draw things are important. And also, can you tap the center line? Okay. So hooray, this is a triangle and we don't want that, so how do we solve that? Solve it by cutting here. This is where knowledge checks of topology come into play. Of okay, you have topology that you would like to use for sub-D modeling. Basically, do not have triangles with an asterisk, as in your triangles will probably cause some pinching to go on. I'm not saying that triangles are bad. I'm saying that triangles are best avoided in this step because they will otherwise give you potentially weird pinching. So again, if anyone ever tells you that triangles are bad, gestures vaguely. Triangles are fine. Put triangles in your models, especially when it calls for it. Let's see. Get rid of you. Get rid of you. Okay. Let's point there. Something went wrong here. Okay. Let's say that this is correct. We adaptive skin, we make adaptive skin, we go auto edit topology, we do the circus again. So here we have our polygon model ready to be manipulated or edited. Let's see. And we have this. So we have this geometry, we're going to be creasing it up a bit. Crease, crease. Some creasing happening that we do want. We'll manually crease the rest. So congratulations, we have clean topology that we can work with creases, and now we can go in for the final adjustments to try and really nail the concept. Let's see, I feel like this should get a crease as well. Insert like 1 or 2 edges here, just to get a little bit of curvature in. let's see. It does look like this needs to have a sharper edge. Look at it from this angle. These bricks in the bottom, we can just slightly smooth them out, or rather push them in so they don't obstruct, or rather, try again. We push these vertices at the bottom in so that they have a smooth silhouette. We don't want to have the bottom like slightly mess with the silhouette, so we'll just nudge them in carefully. Let's crease this one as well. Okay, and there we have it as one element cleaned up. We went from this shape, now with retopology, we now have a clean sub-D model. And again, this is a smooth preview, so if we want it even, like it's still fake. We're not committed. We don't have actual subdivision levels yet, so if anything has to happen where we need to mirror or manipulate it, ZBrush is a lot less likely to start complaining. It's good. Okay, this topology is slightly... I should have thought this one through better. If we set it like this, hopefully this will get us nice results. Again, like this is a knowledge check. Can you make the topology in such a way where it does not pinch in a weird way? I can probably pull them up like this. Okay, so that's one element done, and now we got to do this with the rest model. Actually, I might be able to just, again, duplicate this thing. Hang on. That metal piece, or sub-D. Now this part, we have no more need for it, we can delete it. Alright, next part. It's this one. We can when we were blocking out, we duplicated the head as well. and then put it in place, so we might be able to literally do the exact same thing. So duplicate. We're going to move it. Okay. Gotta be careful, because if you have symmetry and you try to if you try to rotate something, you'll rotate like this, which is not what you want, because like we just mucked up the shape. So turn off symmetry, go to center. Now we flip it 180. We can always check with position. Okay. Make sure it's on the center line. Is it on the center line? Like, sometimes I have to do some sanity checks to like make sure it's still actually on the center line. It looks like this is off center. By like a smidge. Or is it? No, we turn off symmetry. It does look like it is on the center line, okay. And I'm slowly starting to lose it, chat. Yeah, we are closing in on the 3-hour mark again, so let's push through a little bit, but I can feel my brain getting cooked. Okay. Let's see, because I want this one, so if... Oh, hang on, I'm getting a phone call. Okay, sorry about that. Right, so maybe we should not flip it, because as it is right now, I do believe that we want to have this point facing downwards. Am I working in symmetry? I am not. Okay, mirror and weld. Okay. Now we'll just try to mimic the shape as best we can with clean topology. Make sure that we have these crease lines getting up there. And we're gonna let sub-D modeling do all of the heavy lifting on keeping a clean shape. So yeah, we are going to put 2 crease lines in here. So we are going to be creasing this entire S loop. Because again, this is me, the 3D artist, filling in blanks of the 2D concept. I have no way of... I mean, theoretically I do have a way to get into contact with AL55 by, like, messaging him on Blue Sky and hope that they respond. But if you're in an environment where you do not have this, you're gonna have to rely on your own brain and your own knowledge pool to try and figure out what shapes, like which shapes would make sense for this character. So what I did was I looked at the element that's down here. Or this is quite, everything is quite angular in this axe. So I want to echo this up here as well by having these, by having this be angular as well. So that it looks like, okay, it looks plausible, or rather it looks consistent. Consistency is the word we're looking for here. Okay. Make sure that we keep the lines like equal thickness as well. And again, because all of this is sub D, we can change this on the fly. It's a lot easier to adjust this one in terms of I want to have this creased edge the flow like thinner or thicker because we're just moving a singular vertex. So now it's a lot easier. You can absolutely hear that I'm doing this for 3 hours because my English is going backwards very rapidly. So I guess we'll finish this piece, and after that we should start looking into who we can raid next. Or do I? I could potentially do the axe, and then like we get the feeling of like, hey, we got some good progress on the axe, of like we got all of the golden elements. So that looks wicked. That looks nice. I say as I adjust the shape again. Well, for now, okay, cool. Let's keep this shape. No, stop. We're overworking it. Okay, cool. Next shape. We are most likely just going to have these 3 spikes clip through them. Yes. So how are we going to do this? Is that bottom? Yeah, it does look like the spike at the bottom is also a separate object that we can crease into it. Okay, how do we do this? Oh, one more time. We're gonna push through by a little bit. Topology, edit topology, delete topo. So now we're gonna go here. We're gonna start drawing on it with X. I said with mirror, so okay, cool. Oh, ZBrush, you're being janky and you shouldn't be. Rather, sorry, I can't blame ZBrush for everything. I'm making bad decisions. So if we draw a topology that is slightly more. So we'll just avoid the center line for now. Draw it like this. Now we can go in here. Now we draw this as the center line. Connect it where appropriate. Almost home. Get this plate up here. And then we will keep it like this. So we have the reason. Okay, we have this hole here, which has edge deco over the length of the blade. It's the top of the ridge, and it's also the corner of a quad up here. And I'm afraid that this is going to give pinching errors, but we'll deal with it for now. Then this part needs to. Can I move these? Oh, I cannot. Okay, so. Okay, now we can close this up. Okay, so every time you move the camera, it wants to reset. Cool. Okay, this is jank. We're gonna work with it. So we have this. I know it has broken topology. Like it has this large gap in the middle, so we will mirror and weld. And we'll use ZModeler to stitch it up. So stitch 2 points to midpoint. So again, with the ZModeler tool, a lot of polygon modeling methods become available again. It's just you have to get used to the Eldritch menu, which is context sensitive. So if you go over a polygon, you hold down space, you can see the actions and the targets, but they're different than if you were hovering over, let's say, an edge or a single vertex. So when I started with this tool, it took a lot of getting used to. But once you once you get used to it, it is a very powerful tool, especially if you come from a like polygonal modeling like background, or rather that's your comfort zone, just polymodeling everything. Also, Asante, cool guitar, thank you. Yeah, it is not my concept. I'm only trying to make it in 3D. Full credit goes to L55 on social media for this. Okay, let's bridge. Okay. Okay, then we can put this here. All like this. And we'll. Another way of doing it is to copy paste. So I can copy, I can paste, and now it's in our main subtool, or rather our main project. We are going to hide the block out for a bit, and we're gonna hit D for smooth preview, and we notice that we don't have any creasing. So first things first, crease things. Let's see, crease level 3 is what we have been keeping there. So again, for consistencies, we want to have our smooth preview creases all have the same level, so that we get the same, or roughly the same soft result. Okay. Let's see, is this giving issues? Yes. So as you can see, this vertex is pulling a lot of weight because it has to submit information that goes down here, it goes off to the side, but it also needs to flip over to the edge. So that's why I don't like to have vertices like this on an edge. You can see that they are giving issues in an otherwise really nice smooth bevel. So what I like to do is give an inset, rather, yeah, or rather insert, and then move these inwards and have this be the actual border. Let's see, let's uncrease. Okay, so now that we have this polygon, now we can see that this is creasing a whole lot nicer. So, and again, because this is a stylized object, you basically want extremely clean line work. So with workflows like this, you will get them. Otherwise, you'll spot it if something is like causing a slight irregularity in it. It's like, hey, why does this not look as clean as it could be? Well, again, my English is faltering. Okay, gotta make sure that this is in line with what we want. Oh. We are going to crease some partial. Oh, this is bad. Bad in the sense of this is not going to give good results. Because here you can see this is causing a very nasty pinch. This is what I mean with try to avoid triangles. Because you can see that this shading, we have a pinch here now. So if I recall correctly, we can... I need to do this again. On an edge, you do insert, single edge loop. Rather, one of the ways that I know is inset. Oh. Rather, split. Yes. And now we can hopefully delete the edges that we don't want. Yes, okay. So we delete these, we delete these. Okay, cool. And now we have them again where they are. We remove the triangle. Crease. Although, again, same thing. We have a vertex that's being pulled in too many directions. So we are going to insert. And have this move in a little bit. Again, this is not the only way to quote unquote fix this type of pinching stuff or like shading issues. This is one of the ways that I do it, and that's the beauty of 3D modeling. You can do it in whatever way works. If someone says, hey, this is the one and only way to fix it, they're probably trying to sell you something. No, 3D is extremely versatile. You can find solutions in ways that most, like people that have been doing this stuff for 30 years can learn a thing or two from a junior, because they don't know what the quote unquote optimal workflows are yet. So I find it a beautiful thing to have a junior go at a project with reckless abandon and start doing stuff that you never even thought possible. So yeah, always be open to new methods of doing stuff. Let's see, and we crease this loop. I should probably add a few extra edge loops to get that finer control. However, this does look like it's already giving me the curvature that I want. With the exception being there is a hard edge near this area, whereas now it's just, if we toggle between, so there should be a hard edge here, rather an inset, and this is currently still too smooth. And also this is supposed to be triangular, so this is where this needs to pinch in a whole lot more. really get that sharp axe look in there. Radiant, thank you very much for the follow. Yeah, welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. This is looking super sick, thank you. Always appreciate compliments. I really need to start using ZBrush sometimes again, since they now have some non-sculpting tools like vertex handling. Yes, that is basically exactly what I'm doing now. We sculpted the block out and now we're basically polymodeling clean geometry on top of it, very much like you would do sub-D modeling in something like Maya or Blender. So yeah, the Z-modeler is extremely nice. On the stipulation after you get used to it. Let's see if we can add these spikes. And these should be cubes that we just twist 45 degrees. So we append a cube. Delete hidden. Let's see. God, I'm on the last bit of my brain power, so this is going a lot slower. Like the desire to finish an element so that you can look back on it and go like, okay, I did a good job on that. Let's see. This is where it gets iffy. It's kind of nice that they're expanding the toolset to fit a broader modeling space. I was always in the mindset to use Blender for poly modeling and hard surface and ZBrush for organic modeling. Yes. So, yeah, if you need to do something like sci-fi paneling, or like have to model a knight in shining armor, being able to do basic sub-D modeling inside ZBrush is really nice. It helps a lot. Okay, we are going to... We are probably going to regret this, because this is most likely not the optimal way of doing it, but we're gonna see if this works. So if we have this shape, we really squish it, does this look like something that we can put in here? If this does not work, I'll probably have to call it, because my brain is running out of proper ideas. Okay. It works. Okay. And now we can even get rid of this topology. We don't need it. We purely only want this information. Oh, no. Don't press this delete button. We say delete hidden, otherwise we delete the entire subtool. It does look... Yeah, So again, we're trying to make it work. So first we'll put them in place. Come on. Oh, it was masked. Now we need to get the width. And move these out. Oh, we're getting there. It's getting there. So it's this curvature that I just need to get right. I should be able to get that by manipulating vertices underneath. Oh, hang on. Crease, crease level 3. Dynamics. Oh, this is... No, because this does not have enough polygons to actually hold up, so we'll not do it in a smooth preview. We'll just try to get the shapes. And I will worry about... I'll worry about it looking better next time, because it's probably this. Because this is a curved surface rather than a flat surface, this is probably giving us the issues. This is gonna look jank because... Okay, so maybe we should make them all into one piece, because then we can have better control over the creased edges here. We will not get this curved surface, so that's something that I'll have to fix in the next episode. But I can say that I'm proud of the progress, which is always very nice to feel. Yeah, where we basically made this entire thing in one stream, in one session of 3 hours and 15 minutes. So that's decent, I would say. So it's getting there. I'm happy with that. I will have to rethink the headpiece. Like, This is not working, and I will work on that once my brain is charged again. So for now, let's go find someone to raid. Let's see. Let's see, any familiar faces online? Yes, I do see one. Okay, cool. Yes, I was looking at the Volpin again. The Volpin is an amazing streamer. Their art is very cool, so let's go say hi to them again. Let's see, raid. If I type it like this, does it go? Don't think that worked. Alright, it's been a week and I... Oh, right. Thank you. It's been a week. I have forgotten. /raid. Channel name. The Volpin. Yes, our raid has been created. So, everyone, thank you very much for watching. The stream has been some good progress. I'm happy with it. We started from nothing. We blocked out an entire guitar. Hey Cypher, welcome on in. Pet. Yay, thank you for the pets. And Vulpus Elaris, thank you very much for the follow. So yeah, I have a blue sky. If anyone is interested in seeing more of my stuff outside of Twitch, you can go to this link. I will be back. I will be back next time. You can follow my blue sky for go live notifications. If you are a sub, you can use my emotes as the raid match is going to be good vibes. So if you want to join for the raid, feel free to copy that message. You can use channel points to unlock emotes. Now we're gonna go say hi to Volpin. So thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see all of you next time. Bye bye.